Hello everyone, my name is Cade Craze and I will be your coach for the day. I'm a top 500 Overwatch player and team captain of the Arkansas State University Overwatch team. Today, we are spectating my friend and teammate Blazoes, who is a Bronze 2 Soldier main. Okay, so that's our first problem right there. We should not be dying off spawn like that. There are two ways to avoid dying to the Sojourn. The first is to hang back and play and spawn where the rest of your team is. You can see the rest of your team is still here. You should not be in front of your tank. So frontlining is an issue. If you just wait and let your, what do you have, an Orisa take the hit? Or Junker Queen or whatever? Junker Queen, okay. If you just wait and let your Junker Queen be in front, then you won't have this issue of you dying. So if you look at this from the Sojourn's perspective, you can see that she's actually peeks the doorway before the actual gate opens. So before the door opens, she's already there and you can see her and you can see that she's throwing an ability out. So you as a soldier should not be the first person out. You should be waiting on your Junker Queen. The other way that you can avoid dying right there is not immediately strafing to the right. If you are going to try to fight this Sojourn, you need to play behind the cover either over here or at very minimum play on this side and like hide behind this thing. Use it as cover, right? That's the wrong way. Use this as cover. The fact that you just walked over here is also a problem. If you are going to try to get to the right, like you're trying to flank and you don't want to go up top for whatever reason. If you're just trying to get to the side, you need to sprint. This strafe and run when you're this low, and I know you didn't mean to get this low, you got low really quick because you left too early. But you should be sprinting this way, not just strafing if you're trying to get to the side. So, that's mistake number one is frontlining. And you'll see this a lot throughout this replay. Okay, the next major mistake is right there. So, you see this a few times throughout this game. It seems like you don't know what to do. And I say it seems like you don't know what to do because you're not doing anything. You just spent like the last 4 seconds just kind of meandering around, like not really looking at anything. You don't have your crosshair even up to look for anybody. You're just wandering around. Okay, so we're back here. And you'll see right about here, you start shooting at nothing, you kind of look out, you duck back in, you're not making any progress here. There is a very common term used in competitive shooters, or really any competitive esport title. It's called actions per minute, or APM. It's basically how many things are you getting done in a minute, or in a particular amount of time. You want to have as high of an APM as you can. You want to be active in the game. You don't want to ever, if you can avoid it, you don't want to ever be doing nothing. You need to try to get as many things done as you can. Right here as well, you keep shooting at the tank, and that Orisa is not going to die. In Bronze, she might die, because your whole team shoots at her, she has a Discord. But realistically, you need to be going. You can see there is a Sojourn on the like right to her right. That might be kind of hard to hit. But there's a Baptiste completely alone on the right that you can easily shoot at over there. Right here, you go right back to the tank. And you keep shooting at the tank. You switch to Sojourn. Oh, nope. You're back on the tank. And you're back on the tank. The only reason that Orisa died there is because your whole team was shooting at her, and you have a Zenyatta that had Discord on her. Otherwise, she's not going to die. She really doesn't need to be a primary target for you. You need to deal with the squishies. If you can mess with that Ashe up at the top, mess with that Ashe, force her off the high ground. Do whatever you can. The Orisa, you're not going to kill her on your own. And if the rest of your team's shooting at her, then the healers are going to be occupied keeping her up, which means you can kill a DPS, no problem, or one of the supports. again, you're just sitting here and firing. You're not really trying to make progress. You need to try to make forward progress. And I know right now you don't have your tank in front. Right now you don't have your tank in front. But you need to try to make progress towards getting to the point. Not just try to build your ultimate. Just building your ultimate seems to be what you're doing. You're firing at the tank, building an ultimate. You need to try to get forward. You need to get kills if possible. The Orisa is not going to be a kill. You can sprint out of Orisa ult. You also go inside a lot, which doesn't necessarily help you out here. Like, it's a little bit more cover, but no one's shooting at you at that moment anyway. I don't know why you pause right there, but when your Junker Queen goes in with her ult, you have to follow her as soon as you can. Not necessarily, like, run back into their team, but you need to be applying pressure while the Junker Queen is in their back line. You need to be shooting. So whenever you're, like, farther back, right here, you shouldn't be here yet. When your Junker Queen's up there, I don't know you grabbed this, but you didn't just sprint back out. You got to grab the health pack and get back to the action. Actions per minute. You got to keep it up. So right here, you seem like you don't know what you're doing again. And when you don't know what you're doing, you need to do either two things. You need to look for enemies, or you need to be on cart. Right now, since everyone on their team is kind of dead, and it's kind of dangerous to just be peeking out right now by yourself, you should probably just stand on cart. There's only one person on cart. You might as well put another body on there, get it to the point faster. I like this. I like that you're shooting at the Ashe instead of the Orisa here. That's a good pick. It kind of pressures her out, forces her to back up. Or, as we can see, if she doesn't back out, you kill her. So, that's good. That's what happens when you don't shoot the tank. You basically solo killed that Ashe. Reaction time is a little slow reacting to that. And then this, you can sprint out of Orisa ult. Okay, so let's talk about ult timing. With Soldier ult, it's never a good time to just pop it. Especially, well, I say that. Okay. With Soldier ult, you don't want to be ulting when the enemies have a clear escape route. And when you ult as far back as you did, with only 3 of them up there, the Mercy and the Sojourn can easily get behind cover. And the Orisa, she's not going to die with your ultimate. Like, the Orisa just doesn't take enough damage from your ultimate. She has Fortify, she has her spinny javelin thingy. So she's not going to die. This ult here needs to be where there's more people that you can see, or people that can't escape as easily. See, they all immediately duck down. All you have is the Orisa as a target. And basically, it's a total waste. It's a total waste to use a Soldier ult on an Orisa, because she is pretty much free shots anyway. She's super easy to hit. So, in this situation, when it's close to the end of the match, or to the end of the track, and you're trying to fight for payload and they're trying to stall, you don't have to be on the payload. So you can be, as a soldier, you can be farther back. You can be all the way, like, back up this way, and standing, like, maybe on this high ground, shooting at the people coming out of the spawn, or that Sojourn right there. You can just come around here and just play around the pillar. But you standing here, like, trying to fight, like, on cart isn't helping. Cart's not moving anyway because there's someone on it. And you're less likely to die if you're farther back playing around cover. Your Junker Queen is contesting cart. That's fine. You can leave her to do that. That's your tank's job, is to be up at the front. You're so far up right now. This is incredibly dangerous. If that Sojourn had ears, she would have turned around. I want to bring this up. There's an unbroken TV right there. Also, in the attacker spawn room, there are TVs that you didn't break. Always remember to break the TVs. It's a good luck charm. Just saying, you'll win 90% more of your games. I like this positioning. I like that you're on the high ground. You have a good angle to shoot at people. I also like that you're pre-firing the angle. You're getting a lot of damage in just from shooting at that angle repeatedly. That's very good. Just keeps the pressure on. Good job switching off the Orisa. See, you basically just solo killed 2 people when you left the Orisa. You stopped shooting the Orisa, you immediately killed 2 people. That's what you got to keep doing. And then right here, you dropped. You didn't need to drop. Keep the position, especially when you have 2 people up. I know it's tempting to drop because you're like, oh, we're up, and, you know, I should be fine because we have more people and stuff, and I want to finish off the kills. It is better to just keep your position, though. You can keep applying pressure. There's no way that the 3 of the enemies that are left alive are going to be able to take you out when you're staying up top. Right here, this is a very dangerous spot. With the Mei right there, the Orisa can come at you. Then you stuck around. This is a death sentence. If this wasn't bronze and your whole team didn't come to your rescue, you would die right here. The fact that you didn't is a miracle. You don't want to get closed in with a Mei and an Orisa. Also, right here, you should probably just back up. It's good that you're getting the kill, but it's not worth it. You want to get that position back if you can. I actually don't hate this ultimate, but again, you're in front of everyone. You really have to be careful. The tank is dead, and so it's actually a good time to pop your ult is if the Orisa can't help out, and they're all kind of in the open, so it's not the worst ult in the world. But when you're getting that close to a Mei, you're just begging to be walled off and killed by their whole team. And then you try to keep going through the Mei wall, which you don't want to do. You can stand and shoot through this gap. Don't try to go through it. Do not try to get within the distance of the Mei. You don't want the Mei to be able to use her primary fire on you. She thrives in close quarters. You should try to keep your distance. You win a fight against a Mei if you just stay away. Right here, you retreated to the left. You really should be retreating back towards your tank and towards the point. You retreating on the left here is kind of inviting them in, because even though you're kind of like focusing or like shooting from all sides, it's a lot easier for them to push through when they don't have to worry about a full team on one side, especially because your Bastion's also over there. Both your DPS are not even like at the fight, basically. You're just off to the side here. They're just getting right in on your supports. This team should have noticed you. You see, like, everyone is dying now, right? Like, you don't want to be trading. Ideally, you get a kill without trading, right? And with this Sojourn back here as well, their whole team can turn around and focus you. You're completely alone. You cannot escape this alive. Except that you do, because it's bronze. And the Sojourn pushed you. That's their fault, though. Again, you just kind of ulted at them. You don't really want to ult running into them. You kind of want to ult when they're running into you. Because right here, you ran and like just ulted in their spawn without even checking where people were. All of them had cover. You want to run here. Never try to stick around and fight when you're down people. You can see that your Bastion and your Mercy already died before you. And I think your Orisa actually died even before that. So you don't want to be off to the side, and you definitely don't want to keep trying to fight. You kept trying to fight that Mei and you dropped your heal. No, you need to turn around and sprint out of there. The like worst case scenario, if you just run, is you like make it back to point, and then you can like heal up and at least not give them more ult charge. And you can regroup faster. Be very careful running into their back line. They spawn behind you now. You can sprint. You can sprint out of ults. Turn around. Turn around and run. You were trying to hide in a bush. Bush camping only works in Fortnite. I like that you came up top and that your instinct was to play the high ground. This is good. You're in a great position here. And I like that you started shooting at Mercy immediately. This is a good ultimate. Because while they have some cover behind, they're not that close. You can get a kill before they run. Especially because that Mercy was low. Picking off a Mercy is so much easier whenever you use Visor. And the fact that the Orisa can't help either, since you're on the high ground. Soldier high ground ultimates, while the enemy is pushing, is very good. I would just like to point out that your aim is the best aim that I have ever seen out of a bronze player, hands down. And honestly, you're probably you're one of the best bronze players I've ever seen. And you're definitely going to climb out. Again, you don't need to drop on the Mei. Please don't drop on the Mei. I know you got the kill, but that's really not the ideal position. Especially when you can just drop right here. You get that Mei kind of low, right? And you're like, oh, I want this kill. Why do you have to fall all the way down? Why can't you land on this ledge here and then finish her off? You can still shoot her. In fact, you can still shoot her from the very top. But I know it's easier if you get closer when she's kind of up against the wall. But right here, this ledge, no reason to drop all the way on her. It's a dangerous position. And then you don't go back up top. I wish you would go back up top here. Because that top position is really good. You got a lot of kills just from standing on that high ground. You shouldn't be trying to push back into their spawn. Right here, I don't hate that you ran at their spawn. I think with 10 seconds left, perfectly viable strategy is distract them in their spawn. If they're busy fighting you, they can't touch point. I have no problems with this. This is the one time it's okay to just be up in the front line. And the game ends there. So, Blaine, you have 3 problems that I think are pretty easy to solve. The main one is that you keep frontlining. You really want to be kind of behind your team. As a soldier, you have pretty good mid-range damage. And mid-range means not Mei range. You don't want to be up close. You want to be behind your tank if possible, on the high ground if possible. Positioning is another thing. So don't frontline. Try to position yourself away from the enemy team. You have the ranged abilities. You have ranged fire. Your Helix rockets have no damage fall off. You really want to just try to keep your distance and don't drop on them. Another thing is make sure you run out of ultimates and run away if you're getting chased. It is perfectly fine. I know, like, the instinct is keep shooting while you're backing up, but sometimes it's just best to just run. Just turn around and run. That's what the sprint's for. It's to reposition. And if you get pressured out of a position, then leave the position. And then the last thing is try to get more actions per minute. You really want to be doing as much as you can in as little time as you can. So you want to be spending every second of every game moving somewhere, repositioning. If you're not shooting at someone, find somewhere where you can shoot people, but staying safe because you don't want to be pressured out. You want to ideally play in spots that you can't get kicked out of very easily. High ground is an example of a spot that they can't kick you out of very easily, especially when you have a mercy pocket. Now, before I end the video, Blaine, I want to give you some words of encouragement. You are one of the best bronze players I've ever seen, and you have the best aim out of any bronze player I've seen, hands down. And I think that you just gotta pay a little more attention to your game and be a little more careful, and you'll climb up no problem. I'll be making more Overwatch guides in the future and more reviews, so stay tuned.